Welcome to the Collaborative Canvas. I'm your host, Ankesh Saxena, where we delve into emerging trends in market research and consumer insights. We also discuss about other aspects of our lives where our skills are equally important to live a successful life, whether it's a leadership skill, client servicing skill, or entrepreneurship. The constant endeavor is to bring experts around the world to talk about their experiences and help our listeners, viewers, and audiences to learn and grow from it. And hence, this brings us to another exciting episodes on emerging trends in market research. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 2024. Technology in this market research world has evolved multifold. In one of our podcasts, our guest spoke about how AI and ML are helping the data collection world to reach authentic respondents and the responses. We all know our basic problem in the online world. It's the recruitment and its difficulty to get right people on board, whether it's a lower response rate, data quality, panel attrition, or privacy concerns. There are major problems, and people are looking at this junction to resolve those. The experts have come up to the forefront to tackle these issues and provide reliable data to the surveys. Today, I'm joined by my friend Adam Stephenson, founder and CEO of Quantify AI, famously known as bot killers. Adam has been associated with the industry for more than 15 years and also associated as a co-director of membership with Insights Association, the West chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the next gen AI that will transform the market research industry and a revolution that will take us back to the future of the online panels. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic with Adam. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
Adam, Quantify AI has been taking a lot of vibes these days, and we've been, hearing a lot of posts around that. It's predominantly what we understood that you've been verifying respondents through LinkedIn and through various other channels. We wanted to understand where this idea actually came from.
All right. Well, a lot of people know this and a lot of people don't, but I have two young girls. When I was conceptualizing this, was literally doing bottle feedings in the middle of the night with my, at the time, 7-month-old, and just feeding her, looking into her eyes, and conceptualizing like, hey, what do I want to do with my career? I've worked across multiple online panel sample companies. I've had a total focus on quantitative research. I've worked at startups. I've worked at panels which have a presence globally, but they want to really kind of fine tune their offering in the US. I've led sales teams, and I've heard just about every sales pitch and seen every panel book under the sun. But something which is interesting, just with the emergence of ChatGPT, AI, and bots getting into the surveys, I said, okay, what are the traditional methods for building a panel, recruitment, relationships with online publishers, and how often is social media validation being utilized? How much is AI being utilized in the double opt-in registration process? Well, honestly, not a lot, okay? And so I really wanted to embrace AI, existing technology, social media validation, and make it the forefront of my offering at Quantify AI. We are more than just a panel company. Our long-term goal is to create market research res tech products which benefit researchers, and that could be anywhere from programming, online sampling, field work, all the way to data analysis. So that's why we're not Quantify MR, Quantify Sample. We really are focused on just embracing technology and bringing it into a market, which, again, there's a lot of panel companies that have been around a very long time, and they just simply stop investing in technology just in the benefit of margins, and that's what my MO and what I'm trying to bring to light with all my messaging. So
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first looked at Quantify AI, my eyes caught attention or the catch on how you're actually verifying the LinkedIn, because even I believe LinkedIn is a source which is more than authenticated source, or probably there are other few as well, but people use LinkedIn to be the best. I mean, for me, any other social media site when it comes to B2B, it's the LinkedIn. So you know exactly who you're reaching out to. How did this enhances the quality of the survey data for you?
Sure. Well, what we do is we do it in actually the recruitment process. I mean, we run targeted social media ad campaigns across LinkedIn, across Facebook. I really believe that recruitment in social networks, not necessarily online publishers, white labeling survey sections on websites, I kind of feel like that's what everybody does. It's a thing of the past. But if you spend a little bit more money and you run social media ad campaigns, you could target anything from geographic location, age, gender, job title, industry, just almost like if you're prospecting for sales on LinkedIn Navigator. It's kind of like the same concept. So what can we do to verify self-reported data? I could say my name is Adam Ankesh when I'm registering. There's literally forums on Facebook, master classes on how to create the perfect self-reported profile to qualify for the highest incentives. What do I mean by that? Say that you're a male, say that your household income is 200K plus, say that you're an IT decision maker, and your company revenue is $1 billion plus. There's whole cheating scandals and cheating rings going on, way even beyond click farms, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Like these are real IT decision makers who know how to get past surveys, who've been part of panels for a very long time. And they're like, hey, this is what you got to do to get the $5 incentives, not the 50 cents incentives. So it's been very beneficial for us, amongst other things, utilizing AI to help cross-compare self-reported data versus public data across social media domains. And our response rates actually have been very, very good if you put us head-to-head with a traditional panel or multiple. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that one question that pop up my mind is even on LinkedIn, I see you're right. I mean, they're survey takers, they're experts, they know exactly, what could be the incentive in this case. But I think I know myself. There are a lot of people who have actually created multiple profiles on LinkedIn. And of course, when you go to Facebook as well, there are multiple profiles, and you rightly told yourself as bot killers. So there are bots as well as who have been there. How these fraudulent activities can be controlled through Quantify AI? What exactly you have done?
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, I like to joke that when Elon Musk was buying Twitter, he wanted to know how much of the user database was real versus bot accounts and fake accounts. Same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, sure, there's a lot of, I don't know, fake accounts, catfishes, whatever you want to call it, maybe if it relates to online sample. But what we could do is not just recruit via LinkedIn and compare what LinkedIn data says. Well, let's see what is their name on Facebook if they choose to. Again, we're not just focusing on LinkedIn, which a lot of the expert networks, the ones who focus on B2B qual, recruiting for in-depth interviews are doing. They're having a hard time reaching quantitative sample sizes, hence Quantify is part of our name. But we're cross-comparing public data, not just through Imperium, not just through Research Defender, not just through Clean ID, but from actual proprietary AI which we've developed, and also third-party AI technology, which has nothing to do with a membership for one of the data security measures or platforms, which we all know these names. They're household industry names. And so when you do that, and also a lot of the success of weeding out bad apples comes down to the project managers. Our COO has over 10 years of experience. We add custom red herrings and trap questions prior to respondents going to our clients' trap questions and red herrings. So we're not just relying on technology, we're actually building our own, we're getting custom, and that's based upon our expertise in the industry. So, client, if you're working with a project manager who's only been here in the industry 6 months, the 6 years, you're really going to see the difference. I'm a firm believer that project managers are the most underrated department in the entire industry across sample companies. They're all deemed as disposable, but they're the ones at the end of the day fielding the projects which we sell. They're the ones at the end of the day who are really able to control those profit margins, incentive versus recruitment costs. So I'm very, very privileged that when I said I went to old colleagues I work with, the best of the best, all in India. I said, I'm starting a company. They said, Adam, we've seen the clients you've worked with. We've seen what you could do, the types of projects you sell, international B2B, international consumer, very complex qualifier questions, very low IRs, and we want to help facilitate that. So that, as far as being an entrepreneur, the scariest thing is it's like, okay, I have an idea. Who's with me? And I have so many applicants who are like, we didn't take any venture capital, by the way. And I get a little controversial about this on LinkedIn because I really wanted to prove it to myself that, hey, Adam, I've led sales teams. I've been doing sales a long time. I can get the revenue. I don't need investor money. I'm not going to have investors and venture capitalists tell me how to control my company, limit me on the technology I build. If I have a conversation with a researcher, they say this is technology they need, I'm going to sell as much as I need to make that product. And again, not many panel companies, I'm not a panel company, can really do that. They do pre-seed, seed rounds right away. I just went straight for developing technology and hitting the road, getting in front of researchers and agencies and, trying to create a problem solve for them.
Well,
So
sounds like
long
you.
answer, but yeah, very
But
passionate about it.
sounds like you're a true ResTech company in that case. You're talking about
I
global
hate the word
demographic.
ResTech. I hate that. Can we just stop calling it that? But I get it,
All right.
research technology. But yeah, let's embrace ResTech. I just find it a very corny, but I didn't come up with it. So,
No, I
yeah.
somehow, I mean, when two industries merge together, they come up with a name. I think research and technology, it's a sweet amalgamation. I mean, I think, research has a very vast variety of what can be done, and technology adds, kind of a soul to it. What you just, mentioned about different perspective of, what kind of an audience you've been reaching out to, and you're just not limited by, the US populations. You probably be working across different sorry countries. I saw one of your ads which popped up, I think more than 20 plus countries, and it's not that easy to manage that kind of a global demographics across. How the data integration and the integrity and the reliability, how do you ensure all those things?
Well, I was having a great conversation with a lot of international fieldwork agencies and research agencies because the way of doing business and recruiting for European panels, I used to work at a Latin panel, by the way, and I noticed how SEL, recruitment response rates are literally different from one market to the next. So I'll be honest, I don't have all the answers for solving these issues. It's like, you know, when clients come to me and say that, hey, we need to recruit ITDMs in Romania or Australia or India or even Canada, response rates are different. SEL's different. What's the exchange rate between US dollar and local currency? And some markets just have way more cheaters than others, right? The traditional click farms and whatnot. So just being able to, folks can master IP addresses and, like what you said, create multiple realistic accounts. What we've actually found, which I found interesting because we've even experienced this on some studies, is we'll run a B2B study. Somebody qualifies, someone we may have recruited from LinkedIn. They'll go back in to the survey somehow via their multiple accounts. They know all the answers to the screener and the questionnaire. They'll just like run a bunch of bots. Okay. I'm not a technical person. From an entrepreneurship side, I'm a visualizer, I'm a conceptualizer. So I make sure that when I'm running this operation, I have folks who specialize in, hey, how do we combat bots? How do we combat recruitment and response rates? And a lot of these people I work with are outside of the industry, which makes it awesome. I'm
Yeah.
not just shaping the way I do things based upon folks who've been in the industry 30 years. I'm going with concepts that have been around for 30 years or, since the early .com era with panels and saying, hey, this is how everyone's doing it. What can we do different? And I feel like that mindset has made all the difference. Sharing what I do with industry outsiders and having them help mold my perceptions, or how I've kind of been groomed over the years by the companies that I work with to think a certain way. So it's all about thinking outside the box and whether it's recruitment, tackling fraud globally. And yeah, we're doing over 40 markets, so it's pretty insane.
Yeah. And
But
I'm sure, I
everyone's
mean,
doing the same. Yeah, so
exactly. But
everyone's doing 40 markets. How do we separate ourselves?
it
So
exactly, and there are tons of companies who have actually created panels. So my belief with Greenfield Online was the foremost one, because I have seen those panels by myself, being as a panel specialist in that company. So I know, panels are essentials. I mean, you really need to work on them. And you just mentioned that a lot of times that you've been actually communicating with the people who are outside the industry. So I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges there. How did you overcome those challenges? Because data quality is paramount. You really have to work on that. And you've been doing so much on the technology, but there have been challenges that you've been facing and you have to overcome those. How did you manage that?
sure. Well, having only been around since end of April, I'm very focused on deliverables. I'm very focused on fieldwork timelines, and I don't want to just say yes, fully feasible to everything just to win business. But there's a lot of preconceived judgments where decision makers who've been talking to panels for since the Greenfield Online days say, hey, how big's your panel size? Well, my response is, what does it matter? Okay. If we're talking about a panel boasting a 50 million person panel size, which has been around for 20 years, 30 years, what have you, okay, well, that's cool. What's the response rate? Well, the truth of the matter is, and a lot of people I've talked with already know this, is the average response rate of a panel is 0.05, 0.05 to 1%. So if you see a panel and their panel book says 20 million people, and then you're asked, hey, how many people have completed the survey in the past 30, 60, 90 days? It's really more like 200,000, or it's just, depends on how many surveys they're running, right? I mean, companies like Dynata are running so many surveys, launching so many surveys a day. My attitude is, hey, let's do the whole Tesla made to order approach. Okay. I mentioned that we're doing social media recruitment. We will do that specific for the project. We're not just recruiting for our panel to boast huge multi-million panel size. We're doing it and custom tailoring it specific to the project. Okay. That's a differentiator nobody is doing, except for maybe B2B qual, trying to get expert network interviews. So yeah, I really don't care about the size of my panel. I care about, hey, are we doing a custom recruit solution, which is tailored to our client's specific needs, and just kind of viewing it like an online community over recruit, right? If it takes too long for the ITDM in India to click on that survey, hey, let's give them a small incentive, appreciation for their time. And incentivizing folks, if they try to get past the screener, they don't qualify, that makes a big difference in respondent experience too. And then let alone, I was a visual arts film major in college, and a lot of UI and UX is just not, it's when you look behind the scenes, it's just not there. I mean, it's not just there in
Exactly.
survey design, but panels, it's, and we're talking very large panels here, which don't care about having a cool visual user interface, which is a whole nother thing which we are tackling. Um, how to create a better respondent experience and create things more visually intriguing to capture attention and really get more quality answers from respondents.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I
it's as
think
visual as it is content. Yeah.
when we
So
talk about customer experience, we should also talk about respondent experience. And I think what, as much as I understood what Quantify AI does, and you actually brilliantly explained every process and how the challenges have been faced, how you're ensuring the data quality. Because at the end of the day, clients are not just looking at panels as panels; they're looking at reliable respondents. And you're right. I mean, when people ask how big is your panel, even I think why does that matter? I may have 1,000 people, but if I'm not able to give you the productive number that you need, I would say yes. It's a pass. But if I know that even with 1,000 people, I can get you 800 completes, that's my
why
work.
does it
That's my
matter?
journey. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Right.
So I think
Doesn't
that's
matter.
exactly it. I am quite impressed by what Quantify actually offers, and I am sure
Thank you.
there are a lot of conversations that you would have, because when I'm going to post this, I would probably encourage a lot of people to actually come back to me or to you over LinkedIn or anywhere else, and ask questions, because we are just starting up on a journey. And as you rightly mentioned, I was actually reading one of those lines that you said, Back to the Future. I love that. I mean, that's exactly where we really need to think around. I remember those series, and when I got fascinated when that, movie series started, and we are actually seeing, AI taking up market research overall, and we are changing the game altogether. I think that's exactly what we needed right now. And this project is like amazing. So thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having this in the market research industry.
Definitely. And yeah, back to the online panel future. Well, if you go to our website, see our videos, which I'm editing myself, I kind of come from a marketing background myself. And now I'm, liberated up here where no one could tell me no. I'd say from being an entrepreneur, the best part is nobody could tell me that my idea doesn't matter or that it's stupid or it's too out of the box. I've always really liked RoboCop, Terminator, the whole futuristic movies back
Yeah.
in the day. And so in my visual imagery and visual storytelling, um, I'm trying to capture that because nostalgia and technology, and like even looking at things like Big Brother or Stanley Kubrick. I made a Stanley Kubrick reference the other day. It was so ahead of its time,
Mm.
so nostalgic, but also futuristic at the same time. And that's like what we're trying to capture here. We're trying to be as anti-corporate as it gets, and I can again because no one can tell me no. So I'm designing panel books myself, videos myself, and it's just been amazing. And the collaborations are just so much more fun, right? And the potential is just literally limitless when no one could tell you no anymore. So it's
I,
scary though, very scary,
it
because
does.
you're
It
like,
does.
oh, this is not PG. This is not just corporate playing safe content. This is edgy, which a lot of folks, researchers, care about data. They don't care about visual edgy, but a lot of these decisions affect marketing,
Yeah.
commercials, right, for big brands, so it should. So
Oh,
yeah.
tremendous. I mean, I think I love the way your storytelling happens on LinkedIn, and a lot of comments come across. A lot of people actually follow you, and I'm sure with this, there's definitely a revolution which is coming up, and I'm quite excited about how technology is actually shaping up and what new things can come up. So all the best for your Quantify AI, and thank you for coming over to this podcast. Thank you so much, Adam. I mean, it's an insightful discussion. I'm sure a lot of people would learn after hearing it out. So if any of you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Adam on LinkedIn. I'll have his details down after this end of the video. And in case you have any questions for me, you can reach out to me as well. But do like, subscribe, and share these information videos out with your friends and learn more from us. We look forward to working with you closely. And as again, stay well, stay healthy, and stay put. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Akash.